You know what pushed me into this rabbit hole? That moment, that exact moment, when Sibanda jumped up to object as Advocate Ramosepele put it to Mpekiseni, that Gininda claimed he couldn't be found. Right there, something in me said, no man, this story isn't adding up. So I went digging, proper digging, and what I found, the discrepancies aren't cracks, they're potholes. Here's the thing, Gininda didn't just involve Mpekiseni by accident. He dragged his name into Zungu's statement, built a whole narrative around him, and then turned around and told the court, no, the guy is scared. He refused to come forward. But then I found that clip, the one where Advocate Mnisi cornered him, pressed him, and suddenly Gininda admits, yes, there is a person who gave Zungu the information, but he's afraid to testify. And that person? Mpekiseni Ntanzi. Fast forward to Thursday. Mpekiseni walks into court, calm, present, ready, and he says, on record, that he was never contacted, never interviewed, never approached by any police officer on this case. A man who's too afraid to make a statement, but not too afraid to walk into court and call out the lie himself. Come on, something is beating water here. That's why I made this video. Because when the story doesn't match the record, and the record doesn't match the witness, and the witness doesn't match the investigator, someone is lying. And today, we're rolling the clip that exposes exactly who. Let's get into it.
You had this interview with Zungu the Senior. Did it occur to you that, not really occur to you, did it come out from his statement or the interview that you had with him that he bore first knowledge of this incident of there being a friction or a fight, people who ended up implicating accused number 1 and 2, or that he was narrating something that he could also have heard from somebody else?
Bathi ngesikhathi ke ukhuluma oqala nobaba Constable Zungu ke lapho ke ngabe yaqhamuka ke na ukuthi yena ke lapho ke kade kulethele ulwazi lento yena ke ayizwa mathupha noma wakade kulethele ulwazi lento kade ayizwile ngomunye umuntu lapho ke equketha umsola oqala nomfuthi nomsola wesibili.
My lord, my recollection, I think he also mentioned someone, so it needed to be confirmed again from him. But the names, as I said, of accused 2, 1 and 2 came up. But I know that there was an individual from my recollection that he mentioned, and I testified about this individual and the efforts we made to find a person to come forward. But the relative, especially one of the relatives, who adamantly refused, to say, look, he doesn't want to get involved because the fearful of reprisal that will occur. So I know he made mention of someone which we followed, but the person was not willing to make a statement.
Athi yebo khona ke kunjalo aqhamuka amagama igama likamsolo oqala futhi igama likamsolo wesibili kepha khona ke igama lomuntu othizeni ke lapho ke nalo laqhamuka lapho ke kepha bazama ke bona ke inhlelo zokuthi bathole kumuntu othizeni lowesibili ke nakuthi abe khona ke nalo ufakazi bakhe ke kepha wathi na kuyasaba ukuthi ke futhi wanqaba futhi wathi yasaba ke uthizeni eze abe ufakazi ngeqala.
Yes, but my question is still stays, but now you're answering about somebody else. My question is, did he mention that, you know what, I was there when this friction was happening, when this fight and a dispute, let me call it a dispute, yes. I was there when when the dispute happened, wherein accused number 1 and 2 was implicated, or did he say, you know what, I got this information from somebody else that there was a dispute where the name of accused number 1 and 2 came up about them having been involved in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa? That's the difference that I want us to give a dichotomy to.
athi manje kunomahluko afisa ukuthi awuthole la kuwena-ke. Ngabe ubaba kaConstable Zungu wathi kuwena-ke kade akhona-ke ngesikhathi kade imindeni le emibili, umndeni kaMsolo wokuqala futhi nomndeni kaMsolo wesibili kade ungaboni ngasonye, futhi wazizwela yena inkulumo leyo mathupha ngesikhathi kuqhamuka khona igama likaMsolo wokuqala futhi negama likaMsolo wesibili, noma yinto awathi yena-ke uzwe komunye umuntu?
My Lord, as I've said, my recollection, and one, I wanted to get to the statement so that I can then be specific, but my recollection that he mentioned one of his relatives, and that is why there was a need to get this person who would have closed the chain. So it wasn't, and I'm talking under correction, my Lord, but my recollection, it wasn't something that he had a first knowledge of, as Advocate Mnisi is saying.
Excuse me, Brigadier, excuse me. I need pause. Okay. Please, the court, there's a noise that is coming somewhere here. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's disturbing me. I can't follow the Brigadier. There's a koro somewhere here. Please, if it can just be controlled. You see now?
Uyacela-ke umele ukuthi le ngxoxo eqhamukalana ngemuva-ke ehle kancane engabikho ngoba iyamphazamisa ekuthizeni kalalele-ke ufakazi mayelana nengcazelo kade amtshela yona mhlawumbe uphendula-ke umbuzo lo kade bembuze wona.
Yes, it is disturbing. I wonder if you've got a court order here just to keep order here. There's a noise that is coming. I don't know if somebody's scratching the desk or whatever. It's taking away my concentration from the Brigadier. Can you please? Thank you, man. Thank you, Brigadier. I'm sorry to interject.
No, it's fine, understood, Advocate Mnisi. So I'm saying, my Lord, insofar as I recall, there was a person, one of the relatives who was involved, and I think if my recollection is correct, he then would have had the first-hand information, which then he shared with his brother. What I don't recall is whether Absalom Zungu had this specific part from him or he arrived later. I don't recall, but what I know, the first-hand information, there was someone, in other words, between Zungu Senior and the actual information, there was someone in the middle, and this is the relative that I'm talking about, where I say he literally refused to come forward in fear of his reprisal when we engage. So there was someone, but if I can get to the statement, my Lord, because it's very specific, he signed it and indicate what transpired. But what is very clear is that the knowledge that was brought to him is that accused 1 and 2 were involved in this matter.
Athi lapho ke khona ke umuntu othizeni ke omndeni ke lapho ke uyena ke umuntu oqala kade anolwazi lokuqala kade analo ke malana icala leli bese ke wahamba washela watshela ubhuti wakhe malana nolwazi lolu kade ke azizwile bese ulwazi lugcina lifika kubaba wabo ke lapho uZungu Senior usho omkhulu omdala ke walomndeni ke lapho ke bese kuyena ke waqhamuka weza ngaphambili ke bese waletha ke ulwazi lolu kade ke alwazi futhi umuntu othizini lo wathola ke ulwazi iqala ke ngesikhathi akhe khona kungabone ngasonya phakathi kwale mindeni emibili ke yena wanqaba kuthizini ke eze ngaphambili bese aphane ngestatement sakhe noma enza bhala statement sakhe ke bese abuye futhi azothula ufakazi bakhe wathi ngasaba lokho.
So, Brigadier, the information that you got from Zungu the Senior is that there was a person who he got this information from, who implicated accused number 1 and number 2. You're just not certain about the name for now.
Athi-ke manje usho ukuthi wena ke ulwazi oluthola kubaba kaZungu ke lapho noma uZungu omdala ke ukuthi khona ke umuntu othizeni owaqhamuka esithi yena kunolwazi manana icala leli futhi la kade kuqhethwa khona kumsolo oqala futhi nomsolo wesibili.
My Lord,
Kepha unasiqiniseko segama okwamanje.
Can I then be allowed maybe to get to the statement, because I want to assist Advocate Mnisi, but and I know I can hear where he wants to go, but
No, I'm going nowhere, I'm here.
No, I'm saying about the question, where you're going, because you want me to indicate what he told me. So I want to assist, but I can't recall specifically what he told me. But I do know it's contained in a statement of Mr. Absalom Zungu.
Manje kufakaza ecala ukuthi inkosi enkantolo imuphe nje isikhathi alekelele umnomzana Advocate Mnisi ekuthizeni kathula istatement lesike sakababa uZungu Absalom Zungu ubaba kaConstable Zungu ke la athi kubhalwe khona ke malana nodaba lolu ngaphakathi kwestatement.
The statement says this exhibit U of Absalom Zungu.
As it is a court, my lord. And this is not out of disrespect, my lord. I did not bring my whole laboratory still library. Yes, I did not bring all the papers here, my lord. Otherwise, I would have been expected to bring more than 20,000 pages at a go. So I will rely from the assistance from the state, my lord. But I think, my lord, on that note, I feel that it will do no harm if I request that we adjourn for the day and then we'll take up the aspect tomorrow morning, because it's already 20 minutes past 3, my lord. If we can just park the bus now, not that Mamelodi Sundowns or Orlando Pirates or Kaizer Chiefs, but if we can park the bus now and then we'll continue about it tomorrow, my lord, I think it will do no harm. That will also serve to give Tigatia Gininda a bit of a breather and myself a bit of a breather, my lord, because I realize that I don't know what is happening. It's like I'm experiencing some muscle pull up. I keep on stretching my leg. I don't know what is happening.
What?
Some muscle pull up, a cramp.
You talk with your mouth or you're kicking the ball.
My lord?
I say you speak with your mouth
Yes.
or you're kicking the football. Why don't you let him check the statement there? Because he wants a name, he forgets the name.
Yes, my lord. I think this process again will enable him to do it in the comfort of his environment rather than to be in the witness box and paging pages there that are going to affect the microphone. It's like, I think let us afford him the decency and the respect for
How
him.
long is that statement? I thought it's 2 pages.
It is 2 pages, my lord. I dealt with it during the trial within trial. It's 2
Yeah.
pages.
2 pages.
It's 2
So
pages.
let's deal with it.
2 pages.
Check that name if it's important for your evidence.
But nonetheless, my lord, I think I will also need to check it as well. Because as I'm saying, I did not bring
Me, I
all-
know it's 2 pages.
I can't remember it myself, my lord.
Yes. Mr. Numa, I see you're a bit surprised. Then I tell you how many pages.
Yes. Yeah, so the last part, my lord. Okay, yes, so it's okay. Let me just go through it. Yes, the name that I was referring to, my lord, is Mpekiseni Ntanzi. That is an individual that I said between Absalom Zungu Senior and the actual information. There was the name mentioned, and that person is Mpekiseni Ntanzi.
Athi-ke lelo gama
Well, the last time we engaged him, my lord, around 2020, was still alive. I do not know now, my lord.
bathi-ke igama lalo muntu othizeni owathola kulwazi kuqala-ke uMbhekiseni Ntanzi, bese ngemuva kokuthi athole kulwazi bese watshela kubaba kaZungu-ke igama lalo muntu loyo-ke uMbhekiseni Ntanzi igama lakhe. Manje inkosi enkantolo beyibuza ukuthi ngabe usaphila yini, athi ufakazi ngesikhathi baxoxisana naye noma ngesikhathi ade likhulumisana naye kade aphila ngonyaka 2020, manje akazi.
Thank you. Now, just to wrap up on for today on this aspect, is that Zungu the senior got what he told Zungu and what he told you from this Mpekiseni Ntanzi.
manje uqedela udaba lolu sho ukuthi ubaba kaZungu kaConstable Zungu ke uZungu omdala ke ulwazi lolalithola bese watshela ke uZungu ngemuva ethatshele uConstable Zungu bese wabuya watshela wona ke sho ulwazi lwathola uqhamuka kumbhekiseni intanzi.
Yes, who is relatives, my lord? They're all relatives. So he was told, the context of my understanding, he was told as an elderly to come and intervene in resolving the dispute. So Zungu Senior is a relative to Ntanzi. So he was talking about his brother. The statement also explained that they are relatives. So it was told in that context of saying elders must come together to resolve the problem. So that's how it was brought to him insofar as he told me, my lord.
Athi yebo kunjalo futhi bonke labantu labakhe umndeni ke odwa ke futhi kade khona kungabona ngasonye bese kwabombhekiseni intanzi bambiza ukuthi akeze ke awuxazula udaba lolu ukuthi abantu labakade bangabona ngasonye kungakho yena kubaba kaZungu kwagcina sekathola ke ulwazi lo.
Thank you, my lord. My lord, I'm requesting for an adjournment up until tomorrow.
Are you available tomorrow?
Yes, I am, my lord.
Thank you, my lord.
Yes, I am, my lord.
Okay, tomorrow then.
You see, this is where Gininda's whole performance collapses under its own weight. Because once you strip away the sunglasses, the confidence, and the trust me, I'm the investigator tone, you're left with something very simple, a version of events that does not survive contact with the truth. He told the court Mbekiseni was too afraid to come forward. He told Manisi there was a person who fed Zungu information, but that person refused to make a statement. He told the country that Mbekiseni was basically hiding under a bed somewhere. And then, boom, Mbekiseni walks into court, calm as a Sunday morning, and says, I was never contacted. I never met any police officer. I never gave anyone anything. At that point, it's not a discrepancy. It's not a misunderstanding. It's not a communication gap. It's a lie. And not just any lie, but a lie told inside a courtroom, under oath, in a criminal trial. And here's where the law stops playing games. In South Africa, when you testify under oath, you're bound by the Justices of the Peace and Commissioners of Oaths Act and the Criminal Procedure Act. And if you knowingly give false evidence, not mistaken, not confused, but knowingly false, you're stepping straight into the territory of perjury. Perjury isn't a slap on the wrist. It's not a don't do that again. It's a criminal offense that can land you with a conviction, because the entire justice system depends on witnesses telling the truth. So when Gininda's version says he was afraid, and Mbekiseni's version says, I was never contacted, and the record says these two stories cannot both be true, the law has a name for that, and it's not oops. It's perjury, giving false evidence under oath, and if that's what happened here, then the problem isn't Mbekiseni. The problem isn't fear. The problem isn't availability. The problem is that the investigator's story is doing gymnastics the law does not allow, because a man who is too afraid to testify does not walk into court voluntarily to correct the record. A man who is hiding does not stroll into the witness box and say, actually, that's a lie. So yes, something is beating water here. And the more you look at it, the more obvious it becomes who's splashing. So at this point, it's simple. Mbekiseni didn't expose himself. Gininda's own lies exposed him. And when the record screams louder than the investigator, you don't need a law degree to hear who's telling stories. The court isn't a stage, and perjury isn't a plot twist. It's a crime. And if this is the version he's willing to give under oath, imagine the version he gives when nobody's recording. If you care about the truth, about accountability, and about a justice system that doesn't bend for convenience, stay locked in. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if you think this was a mistake or a straight-up fabrication. Share this video so more people can see how the record corrects the lies. And subscribe, because we're not done. Not while the courtroom is still echoing with contradictions. Stay sharp, stay loud, and stay with us. The truth is still unfolding. Until next time, I'm Skybridge. Goodbye.